left for journey, abroad. Welcome once again for our great Upanishad journey. Om Shri Gurubhyo Paramagurubhyo Srimad Ananda Tirtha Bhagavat Padacharyobhyo Namo Namaha Narayana Paripurna Gunarnavaya Visvodaya Stititolaya Niyati Prataya Jnana Prataya Vibhuda Sura Saukya Dukkha Satkaranaya Vidadaya Namo Namaste Yo Vipralimba Viparita Madiprabodhan Vadan Rasya Kritavan Bhuvidatva Vadam Sarveswaro Haririti Pratipatakam Tam Anandatirtha Munivaryam Namami Pujjaya Raghavendraya Satya Dharma Rataya Cha Pajatam Kalpavrikshaya Namatam Kamadenuve Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvina Vadidamastu Ma Vishvidavahai Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Welcome friends, we are into the second Valli, in the middle of it and almost towards the last part of the second Valli. So far we have seen, in this Kathopanishad as to how, because the three questions have been asked by Nachiketa, and the third question when he has asked, which is the very difficult and sort of a very spiritual question, which all the religions, in fact, all the philosophies are trying to address. He asked that question, whether there is a soul after the death. Some say there is a soul, some say there is no soul, some say, they don't believe it, it's all over, because there is a philosophy called Charavaka also, it's like that, he is asking, in order to explain what is that, after the body has gone, and what is still available, because what is that, because the journey one has to undertake, if at all one has to undertake, if there is anything called, the life after the death, if anything, it's not life after the death, if there is something after the death, that's what he is asking. For this question only, he has taken, long explanation. This is a very difficult question. Why are you embarking upon that? Even the gods are not, still clear about it. They are also trying to find out what is the real truth behind, and everyone will have to experience in their own way. In that only, because he started with giving the advice as to the wisdom, how it is. We have got two type of wisdom, always in our life. Every day we are encountering that. What we call what is good for us and what is pleasurable for us, what is delectable for us, and what is definable for us, because which elevates us to a higher level. So that is called Shreyas and Preyas. Two things are there, which is good for the whole soul and for our experience and everything and all, which is beyond the body, mind and intellect, beyond the pleasure of the body, mind and intellect. Preyas is the one which you find immediate pleasure. You got, because like reading of a book, because you may take the book and reading a book, it takes some time, it needs your attention. You'll have to give up all your activities and read the book. But the reading the book is a long abiding pleasure. It's not a transient amusement. That's what, because the great the writers have said, it's not a transient amusement. A fiction, you read it, it's a transient amusement. Nothing is going to be there. If you are really going to read a classic, sort of a book, which has got the wonderful, because which is written by great authors, that they are the abiding pleasure. They just give you something of an input to you, and it is going to remain you forever throughout the life. And perhaps it may be changing your views, changing your attitudes. This is what exactly the Upanishad is supposed to be doing. In this process, I will just go back to, because a couple of verses, I will only take few words to explain. What he says is, because when you are getting into this, your own internal reflection, Adhyatma, Atma is the soul, which is trying to give you the entire life energy to act and as well as enjoy this world. On the three stages, what we have, all of us do have three stages every day, which we are normally conscious of it, which we are doing regularly. That is Jagrata Sthana, wake up stage. When we are now wake up and we are doing everything, we are into this Skype session, and then we will be going out doing so many other things. That is Jagrata Sthana. That is wake up stage. And there is when you are not in a deep sleep, but you are giving some sort of a sleep where you get dream, maybe daydreaming also. That's also a dream. When the dream comes, because that is called the swapnasthana. Because you get, whatever your unfulfilled desires are there, whatever you are having ambitions which are not materializing, all those things come out and they give in the form of a swapnasthana. And third is sushuptasthana, when you are in a deep sleep, not aware of what is happening around and all. You are just yourself. You are not, in any of a relationship come into being. You are not in a role that you are playing as a father, mother, son, or brother, anything else and all. You are into a deep sleep. When you come out of that, then when you get up next morning, I had a wonderful sleep. I was not aware of anything. When you have, that is the three stages. Every day it is happening. So this in the three stages, with the three stages, in one Upanishad, we have already seen Mandukya Upanishad, the entire, the 41 mantras. They have explained what is this. It is nothing but an autobiography of every being in this world. That has been so analytically explored, in that Upanishad, that we could see how the entire thought pattern changes, how the attitude changes, how we are trying to elevate ourselves in all the stages, during the wake up stage also, in the dream stage also, as well as in the final ultimate stage of the deep sleep. When you are able to evolve in each of the stage, that is the wake up stage, dream stage, and the deep sleep stage, then you come to a stage which is beyond the highest elevation one could think of, that is called Turiya. Turiya is the transcendental stage, which is body, mind, and intellect. Beyond that, you go into that stage. That is the real bliss. How to get into the stage is these three mantras, what we have seen so far. 1.2.12, 1.2.13, 1.2.14 we have covered. I'll just take few words only to bring back our self attention to what we have explained, what we have gone through last 2 weeks. One is Durdarsham, in the sense, because once you get it, once you are getting into the experience slowly, when you are evolve yourself, you are able to see, what is there, ultimately. Because you are not, taken in by this transient, the desires, transient amusement, transient pleasures, ephemeral pleasures. You want to go beyond that. So that is Durdarsham. How you are able to get Adhyatma is because when you are having a wake up stage and all, what we call Adhyatma is our internal journey. Adhyatma, because Atma is there, that is Adhyatma, the one life force, primordial power, the divinity in us, that is called Adhyatma. So from as Atma, from soul, when we are traversing towards Adhyatma, that is called Adhyatma Yoga. That's what the mantra said, Adhyatma Agamane. Once you start getting into that, the inner journey, into that fantastic journey, where you have got ineffable bliss, when you are going to see that, what you are doing is you are getting into the cave of your heart. Because you are trying to find what is the life energy. What is the life energy? See, if you are taking a torch cell has got the power. But when it lights up a bulb, the bulb knows bulb. We are all like bulbs. We are getting the energy from the cell. But we can't perceive and know the cell. But cell knows us. It gives us the energy. It is like that. Like when the laptop you are working on, it is energized by the power. The laptop can't know whether the power is there or not. If the power is not there, it is just remains closed. It can't work. But if the power is there, when you charge the battery, you are able to get it. So the energy that is being charged up, this Yatma is charging up yourself. I'm requesting to mute your mics. I think some noise is coming. Kesavan, have you muted the mic?
No.
You mute the mic. I think mic is okay. It's okay. So what is happening is, because when you are able to get, the torch is able to give the power, but the bulb can't, like the laptop can't perceive the power, the bulb can't perceive the power, but the power is the one which lights up. It is the consciousness. Likewise, we get into that. We will not be able to perceive. In Adhyatma, what we know is there is something, because we will be able to get a glimpse of it. We will be able to get a fraction of it. We will be able to get an apprehension, a sort of a flash of it. but we will not be able to really comprehend. The power is so vast because it is coming from a source. For us, it is coming from the power plants. Maybe it's from a nuclear power plant or a thermal power plant and a hydro power plant, wherever it is coming. Likewise, he's all encompassing. He's energizing the entire world, the entire beings. When it comes gutam anupravishtam gahvarishtam, in the sense, once you know there is a power behind, once the bulb is able to know, bulb will not be able to know, it has not got something called chetna. We have got a chetna. We are able to perceive, because we are able to have the memories. We have some attitude, we have some passions, which is not available in our surroundings. Still we have the passions because it has all come from our earlier births. What we call it as vasanas, that has come from birth after the birth. And when we comes out of the birth of the birth, because once you know that is a part of it, once you are able to identify, you've got something beyond what you have experienced in this world, which has come along all the way with you, then you are getting into Adhyatma Yoga. Adhyatma Yoga, you understand is there is something beyond that. Therefore, what will happen is, whatever you have to accumulate for your own elevation, slowly that will because give you the benefit of getting the elevation. How you can get it? For instance, in the deep sleep, you are almost in the entrance of the divinity. You are almost in the entrance of Kailasha, Vaikunta, or Brahmaloka, whatever you call it. But then we don't go in there, forever. Once we wake up, we have got unfulfilled desires, ambition, work to be done. We come back to this world. Every day we are being taken very close to the divinity, but we come back again into this world. That is what is repeatedly happening. Once we are able to, through this Adhyatma Yoga, how you can do it slowly, once you find all these things are ephemeral. And you will be just acting in this world without looking for, because what is going to be the effect of it. That means, you are doing as a cause, whatever you have to do, you do that. But the effect, you are not, you will not be bothering about it. Because we are all the effect of creation. But we don't know the cause. That will also come in the next mantra. The cause and effect, because when we know, since we are an effect, but in Adhyatma Yoga, we are trying to find what is really the cause. Is it that we are only the effect, only to enjoy this world and be here and go? But we have got a great cause for which we have come. Why? Because it is being emphasized in all our Upanishads and all. In our Sanatana Dharma, we believe we have taken up this human birth after several thousand births, several crores of births. If you go to Dambola, there is a place in Sri Lanka, because where there is of course, the cricket matches are being held, because the test match, it's one of the test match venue also. There one big Buddhist cave is there. If you go there, they show you a lot of paintings and even some lot of, the Buddha's life has been sort of even put in a lot of all those monks, they have painted it, and they have also meditated there. After meditation, they have painted it and all. So there they say Buddha got his nirvana after 17 births. Even a soul, Buddha is considered to be an avatara, in Hindu Sanatana Dharma, because in a different context, we will also see that why he is considered to be an avatara. He has taken, as per their Buddhist belief, 17 births to evolve and get the nirvana. If a great person like Buddha, it has got 17. For us, it is 17 crores or 17,000 crore births that must have happened. Having come to this, the danger of, because since we believe, in the biggest, the birth, and in fact, it has also been proven by our Upanishad, because by the Vedas, Aupurusheya, which is not authored by anyone, because it doesn't have any authorship. When it says, what it says is, you come into this birth, the danger is, you can slip back, into one of the 84 lakh species. You can go back to that. You have evolved and become a human being after so many births. If you are not able to use this opportunity, you may get back. That's what the Kathopanishad, because we quoted, Irachetya Vedita Satyamasti. Once you know in this birth, you are able to realize you've got a great purpose. The Adhyatma Yoga is something which you have to get again by God's grace. It's not every time. We have not got it, till 10 years before or 20 years before. We got it only now or very recently and all. Why it has happened? It is again the God, grace of the God. How we have got the grace of the God? Grace of the God is we try to work and analyze what is happening to us. Once we are able to do, we are trying once with the intention when we work on it, slowly we gather here and there, bits and pieces, we listen to them. But all these things you will be able to get only through the Guru. The Guru only will be able to impart. Who is the Guru? You might have heard, because some lectures somewhere, someone must have quoted, you might have talked about whether it is Dvaita, Advaita, Visishta, Advaita, because they would have said, why, because entire philosophy has evolved. What is the purpose of living in this world? To know the very purpose of living in this world, then you will be living as per, because what you find the best. Once you know this is the way to live, you will not be dissipating your energy. That is what it happens. So we should not be wasting. Assuming, you are not able to do everything in this. You will not be able to do everything, whatever Upanishad says. You can't change your attitude to the perfection. But nothing goes waste. Whatever effort you have taken, they are all being saved. It has been declared in the Gita, because he says it is nothing, it all comes with you. And you evolve in this birth, human form only, as many times as you have to evolve. If Buddha has taken 17 births, we may be taking, because little more 1,000 births, but still we will evolve. There is a hope for evolvement. There is no eternal condemnation, as in other religions, which says either you get, the kingdom of God in this birth, or there is an eternal condemnation. In the sense, you are not able to use. That's why, when people, because there is a way out. That's why, Sanatana Dharma, when it has come, there is always a way out. You will be able to take the effort, and more you are able to take the effort, all those things gather you. Next time when you take a birth, you take in a family, where people are having a wisdom, the practices are there, you are able to evolve. Likewise, it goes on happen, and that is in the abhyasa. Every birth, you will have to take it. And what is this thing called grace of God? Why God has to give only grace to some people? Why not to others? This question will come. Is he impartial? He is not impartial. Why he has given? It is like this. The more you try to analyze, more you try, because internally it is not you. Even the Guru may be telling you, but if you are not able to grasp and get into the ways of Adhyatma to analyze, why we are living, why it is happening. Is it that, is it the way we have to live? Eat, drink and sleep, make merry and all. Is it the life why we, like Charavaka philosophy which says, is it that should be, why we should not do it and all? It is like this. See, when the universities, the grace mark is given. The grace mark is given when 40 is the grace mark. If 35, 36 to 38 is there, you will get the grace mark. You will not get the grace mark when you are 20 or 25 and all. So therefore, the grace is like that. More you have taken the effort, more you are in the threshold of getting evolved into that, the God grace falls on. Once you have taken the effort, your intention, your effort, everything comes, it comes. How it comes? It comes in the form of our own attitude, our own thinking, what we call Shravana, Manana, Nitidhyasana. Shravana is what we hear and what we absorb, and how it affects us and all. Because how we are able to get, this Shravana, Manana, Nitidhyasana, it's all being said by everyone. How is it that we have got 19 instruments, basically? In Mandika Upanishad, Ekona Vimshati Mukaha. But the otherwise that also it is called 24. What is that? We have called Panchabhutas. We are made of all Panchabhutas, and we are also in Panchabhutas. Because we are also experiencing the air, we are also experiencing the ether, and we are able to see the sky and get the sun and all. We are also able to tread on the earth, and we are also able to consume water, as well as when we go and, because when we do puja and all, we consecrate water. Because water is being made into a sort of a new element, like a deuterium. From the same H2O gives a deuterium, a heavy water, used in nuclear power plant, which has gathered, and the deuterium also is there, higher than that. Likewise, the water can absorb, the molecules can absorb the energy. Why that is tirtha is being given in the temples? When it is consecrated, the energy is so high. The water energy is so high. In fact, in Japan, because there is a research which has been done, and it has been proven the water it's able to provide, because a lot of, it is able to point out what type of energy was available in a particular place. So in a criminal location, criminology, they are trying to use by the spill of the water, by analyzing the water, what type of a molecular structure is there in that water, they are able to do that. Likewise, because we ourselves have seen scientifically, because heavy water is there, deuterium and all those things we have seen, it has been proven. Likewise, all the Panchabhutas, they get the energy depending upon the frequencies in which you are living. What is your frequency? Your thoughts. More you elevate your thoughts, your frequency goes in there. Thought is nothing but an energy. So that's how we are called in quantum, because we are also a quantum being, because with the 0.01% of the matter and 99.9% of the energy. Our thoughts are continuously there, even when we are thinking, even when we are sitting, even when we are drinking, eating, or sleeping. Till such time it is not a deep sleep, we do have thoughts bombarding us. The energy is there. So more the thoughts come, more you refine your thoughts. It's a continuous refining process, as it is in a refinery. It goes through a lot of process, and the more you filter it out, finally we get into the elevated and noble thought. That brings, finally, that is the sadhana. Shravana, when you do it, that is the process. You more you get the grace of the God, and then you yourself are able to get, you are made to have focus on more of these things you are able to get. You yourself are creating it. Once you create that, that enables you to get the highest one. And then manana is a reflection, constant reflection. When you are constantly reflecting, what happens? It's not a sort of a mechanical reflection. It is a reflection when you find something of ineffable bliss coming in. Without any reason, you are happy. See, when you go to a place, for instance, because the Vivekananda is supposed to have gone and meditated in the rock of Kanyakumari, before he embarked upon the journey to US, because he wanted to find out, some answers to the question which he was reflecting upon and all. When he went there, in the places, you go to the Vivekananda rock, if you happen to go to Kanyakumari and all, the place tells you the vibration. It is in a place where the three seas, the three seas are meeting: Bay of Bengal, Arabian Sea, and the Indian Ocean. All the three are supposed to be meeting. The point there is there. That's why, because one of the reasons, because we call Aryan and Dravidian and all, one of the words, which is being used, the Dravidian is Trivad. Three seas are meeting at that point, Trived. Because when Shankaracharya was coming onto his journey, up north, when he was asking, where are you coming? He's from Kerala, Kaladi, because he's closer to the Kanyakumari. From there he is coming. Yeah, I am coming from the area of Trived. Trived is the three seas are meeting. That is the Indian Ocean, the Arabian Sea, and the Bay of Bengal. When they are meeting, I am coming from that. That's not known, colloquially and all. That becomes Dravid. That's no Dravidian, Aryan, and all those philosophies that came about. This is what has been, at least the Vedic interpretation they are telling and all. So when in that place, when you go there, the point in which you get the highest vibration, when he has meditated without any taking any food and all for a fortnight, he got answers for all his queries. He came. And when he came, that is what, Adhyatma, what he got, because the flash he got, and then propelled him. He was wondering, what am I going to do, if I am going to US and all, because it's there, their culture is different. Am I going to do anything and all? Because, but Ramakrishna has said one thing, don't always get into the samadhis and as well as meditation and all. That is enjoyable. But you have got a great duty ordained for you. That is why on one occasion, when Swami Vivekananda was in deep meditation, he almost lost into the meditation. He was enjoying it. Such a wonderful bliss. And only people who have experienced will be able to explain. It is inexplicable, more to be experienced than to be expressed. So then Ramakrishna asked one of his disciples, go and bring him back. Let him not get into because he will be lost into samadhi forever. Not that. Because he has got a great duty ordained for him. He has got a great job to be done, because he's meant for that. He should not be left to that and all. That is how he came, and he was wondering what is a great duty that has been ordained. What Ramakrishna has said. That answer he got it in Kanyakumari in Vivekananda Rock. That is how subsequently we know the journey. He became a spiritual master. And he sort of changed the whole psyche of the world and brought about in the Hinduism in its the complete form, and tried to bring it, and he analytically approached it in Western way and brought it to a level. That is exactly what it is being talked about. So when you are doing reflection and all, it is not a simple mechanical reflection. It is a bliss you will be getting. You inexplicable joy. Because when you go to a place, when you go see in Kanyakumari, or you go to a place which you are of your liking, even to a place which is undescribable, you happen to a strange place where you get it. You get some happiness. When you see something, you get some happiness and all. Because there is no reason for that. Basically, one of the reasons why we always try to find, we should have a reason to be happy in the sense and all. It is one of the greatest, Immanuel Kant, one great philosopher. He has brought it in a very simple and wonderful language. Every being, whoever it is, the person you like, the person you don't like, a person you are favorable to you, who is not favorable to you, who is inimical to you, let me put it, but whatever is there are so many people and people who don't know, who are in the other status of the life, because who may be disadvantaged or who may be well sort of endowed with all the wealth in the world, everything will be there, irrespective of the fact. You always consider a being to be an end in itself. End in itself, in the sense the being has got it completely. It is a sort of whatever you are, the same is the other person. Don't think it as a means. Don't take any person to be a means. Take every person to be an end in itself. In the sense you are giving the same dignity and the same sort of a stance and the same state of a sort of a, you will be giving respect to yourself. Same thing, you will be giving it to the other person also. That is exactly our Sanatana Dharma says. Immanuel Kant put it in a very simple language in the Western world can understand. He put it in a way, even if you don't believe God, if you don't treat any other being as a means but as an end in itself, you are far superior than the person who is believing in the God also. That's what he said, Immanuel Kant. So likewise, every being, you give the due respect, the due dignity, as you would have expected from anyone else. So once you do that, because that comes in the reflection. Manana, when you say you don't have any likes, dislikes, that's what there is no harsha soka, because neither you happiness is there, nor there is, you are not, feeling depressed. Both of them are not there because you are treating everyone equal. Because there is no otherness, because same whatever you are able to see reflect others. Why we are able to be, because why we are able to be somewhat agitated when you see someone, because we see, some of our own undesirable qualities come to the fore. We think, this man might be coming with those qualities. Once you are totally eliminating slowly by that process, you are as noble and you are able to see the nobility in everyone else. Dignity, you are able to give dignity in everyone else. This is what exactly, that is the stage Adhyatma. Once you are able to see that, you are able to see that flash. Because you don't have any sort of a reason to be happy, reason to be unhappy and all. You are all glorious yourself. You are able to see the glory everywhere. That is what, because that few words, Gahvari Ishtam also when you said, that is what, when you are able to see there is a touch, there is a cell, which is giving you the power. There is a energy, which is activating us. You are able to see that energy within us, but we are not able to perceive the energy and all because we are being activated by the energy. We are the effect of it. We are not able to see the cause, but we know there is a cause. That is why the philosophies, they say there is two causes entire thing, because even the God is considered to be the nimitta karana. He is the effective, because he is the one efficient cause. Who is the one make us efficient of every creation? We are all efficient because there is a karana behind it. That is whatever, whether you are feeling Dvaita, Advaita, or even atheist, there is a power behind us, that makes us to be efficient. That is the efficient cause. Another one is material cause. The material cause is whatever you are able to, you think, you are creating, what you think, you are able to enjoy, what you think you are able to deal with. All these things are material cause. That is why the consciousness always, the material consciousness and spiritual consciousness, that is the Shreyas and Prayas. Both the consciousness are living together. When you are having a material consciousness, you are all, into the ephemeral things, the immediate, the temporary happiness, whatever is there, you are going about. But when you are into the spiritual consciousness and you don't have anything of, because any likes or dislike, everything is equal, and you got an inexplicable joy, without a reason you are joyful and all. That is the spiritual consciousness. It is always traversing from the material consciousness to spiritual consciousness. As you go about, your journey is being guided by this. And 1.1, 2.13, the mantra last week we saw, it is getting into the spiritual consciousness from the material consciousness. That is the process, it explained. Yatachutva samparigrihya matyaha, because once you know, that is the highest wisdom once we have got about. Proudly here, because you have got some power within you, because the cell is there, I am a torch. I am able to give the light, because there is a cell behind me. I am able to be efficient in this world because there is a power behind me, the efficient cause, nimitta karana, what they call it in Sanskrit. And once you have got, because the nimitta karana, once you have got that, and you are efficient in this world. But you are the material cause also. He is the one who has given that. He has given you all the materials to enjoy, and to finally get into your own evolvement into the highest being, because you are capable of, and that is your divinity personified. You are supposed to be happy, happy without any reason, because that is your swarupa. But you are able to, you are not able to get into the swarupa because you are assumed the role in which you have been assigned every day, either as a sort of the father, mother, or anything like that, or in your profession, you've got something to do, you are bogged down with that. You've got a boss, you've got subordinate to deal with, you've got the peers to deal with. All those things, take away all those things and all, they are all happening. But they are all, finally you are able to get all these experiences through the 19 or 24 elements people, all the panchabhutas, which are around us, in which we are living. And then karmendriyas, all the karmendriyas, our legs, mouth, because which we are able to see, our, because of all our legs, mouth, as well as what we are able to think, manas, buddhi, ahankar, chitta, they are there. And then jnanendriyas, because which are able to get the knowledge. All the five knowledge jnanendriyas there, five karmendriyas are there, five panchabhutas there, 15. And then manas, buddhi, ahankara, and chitta, and four. They are the one finally able to process, discriminate, and tell which is good, which is not for us. The buddhi, which is able to see. Manas is able to sort of manage the thoughts. It is able to take it is the bridle, as we see in the metaphor what we have seen. It is the bridle through which the manas is controlling, the soul is traveling in the entire carriage. And you got all these indriyas as the five horses, which are running. You are able to get that entire thing through that. You are able to experience in this world. Finally, you are able to hold the horses. You are able to elevate yourself. That is the adhyatma which we are going through. And the same metaphor is going to be explained in this Upanishad itself. This jnanendriyas, karmendriyas are the basic one, because jnanendriyas, through eyes you are able to see and get the knowledge. And in the eyes also you are able to see the act of seeing it. And hearing, because through your ears you are able to hear. And through the mouth, because you are able to get the taste. And the legs, as well as your reproductive thing, you are able to get whatever is. And the tanmatra, what we call is sabda sparsha, ruparasa gandha, which we are able to hit, what is you are able to get through to your entire thing. They are the one which is giving the feedback. Finally, entire thing is processed, and the intellect buddhi says discriminate, and finally you are able to hold the hearts using the buddhi and keep the indriyas in account for elevating yourself, your journey, and all your experiences are the road on which you are traversing. Some may be good roads, some may be bad roads, some may be expressways, some may be sort of with all undulations. It is, you will have ups and downs, some hilly tracks, and you will be going through that. How to go through this life? This have been given that. In all these things, without agitating yourself, to hold yourself stable. That is what this adhyatma, what we have talked about in the mantra number 1.2, that same mantra said, once you know that wisdom, once you get that wisdom of discrimination, what is the shreyas and prayers we talked about? What we talked about Viktor Frankl last week, because when what he was telling, at the moment when he was about to be in presence of a gas chamber, when he was about to be sent, when he was waiting, along with the others, At that time, he thought about, because how a human mind works, how psychologically a man can manage himself, how every person, he brought this, the entire concept, the psychological concept. So there, he said, de-reflect, and, you see the paradoxical intention. Always, even at that point of time, he wanted to do it because this, he gave that liturgy, he got that particular concept where you will be able to manage your psychosomatic, psychiatric things and all. He was able to see, at that point of time. Therefore, what it says is, never think of what is going to happen in the future, not think of the past. Be in the present at that moment. You may be getting into the gas chamber from 10 hours or 10 minutes from now, or you may be coming out. In his case, providence, it happened. By providence, he came out of that. But in spite of it, he was able to think and give some concept to the whole world. So this is exactly, you will be able to excel even at that point of time. When you think, because in the practical world, you are at the brink, you will be able to bring back to the glory, because that is what exactly the mantra, that modate modaniyam, you are able to get the highest bliss. That is why you see, de-reflect in the sense, don't center yourself in the thought, what will happen to me? Or, what if, if it happens to me? And if it doesn't happen to me, will I be able to do nothing? Don't de-reflect. And paradoxical intention, whatever you fear to encounter, whatever, you've got as fear psychosis, deal with it right across. Hold it by hands and see that. That is what paradoxical intention. Then Socratic dialogue in the sense, when you say, the Nitidhyasana, when you say, what, after all, if it is going to happen, what will happen? This is what, let me see what it happens. That is why, because once a person is having that valor, that courage, he will be able to face anything. Perhaps he will be able to come out also. In most of the things, he will be able to come out. The God's grace will be with him because he is so determined. Not only that, in this process, he will make so many other people determined to face the world squarely. This is exactly what we have thought, and this is this type of attitude when you, because in this also says there is no time to waste, because the present moment is very important. Not that what is going to happen 10 minutes from now or 20 minutes from now or 2 hours from now, or what happened 2 hours earlier and all. The present moment is in, because once you are able to focus your thoughts and get into the process of elevation, this is the time you will have to give. This is the same thing Upanishad said. Don't waste this time. Satyam asti, you will be able to get the highest truth. Otherwise, Mahati Vinashti, you will be getting a catastrophe. And having come into this world in the human form, you should be able to utilize it to the fullest possible. This is what exactly all the philosophy says. This has been brought out in this Upanishad. Then we will go into the next. When he is telling all those things, when Yama is telling all these things, he is reminding him, look, you told me everything and I am getting into this, all these things. Okay, I will elevate. He's already in the elevated stage, Nachiketa, unlike us. He is asking, he is just giving him a reminder of this, the last question he asked. You give me the answer to that. That is what 1.2.14 in your page 51 of the document, it is there. He is telling, Anyatra Dharma. See, whatever is, we say, all these, the righteous actions in this world, whatever we have to do, everyone has done. All the religions are said, 10 commandments are there. They are all telling you what the right things you have to do. So is every religion is telling. Because all the religions finally want to make you into a wonderful human being to live in this world. Anyatra dharmat, other than righteousness. There are a lot of righteous people. Everyone is saying. Anyatra adharma. There are also people who are otherwise. They are not bothered about the righteousness. Look, I will have to live in this world. If I, in this process, a few thousand people suffer, doesn't matter, because that is how I will have to live in this world. That's also anyatra adharmat, who doesn't follow any sort of a code of conduct in this. Anyatra adharmat. Anyatra asmat krita kritat. Anyatra atmat krita kritat, in the sense, what is being, I create something, I create a big empire, and I don't, I am not able to do anything. I am useless. I remain as it is, because whatever way I have been, whatever is. Krita krita, it has got two meaning. One is, whatever you are able to create productively for the benefit of so many people or yourself, or you are not able to do anything at all. Either way, he is giving every possibility of a human existence. This is the greatness of the Upanishad. Upanishad doesn't leave anything to chance. He says, Anyatra dharmat, anyatra adharmat. Either way, you are again the nobility personified or the crookedness personified. You are totally down in dumps in terms of attitude, or you are elevated to the highest level. Some Mahapurushas, Acharyas, even the great, like a Jesus, something like a Zandavishta, or the great rishis, munis, and all the great people, who Acharyas who have propounded the philosophy, they have come. Either that is there and all. Krita, cause and effect. So either your cause and effect also you can create, because someone has created a big, the charitable organization, which is being still mine, because the Rockefeller Trust is there, and Nobel Trust is also there and all. But you must see the background in which they all have to create a trust, not, because after certain, even Nobel was being so criticized because he was creating all the explosive, and he said he is a cause of destruction, and there was a lot of bad press on him for a long time. In fact, he was made to look like, the person, who is not a human being at all. He doesn't know. Finally, when he reflected upon himself, let me leave everything, to something, some good cause. What is that? He was thinking. Finally, he created the trust. In the process, he antagonized entire his families, relatives, friends, and all. They thought, he will leave something for them. He has not left everything. He has left everything for a great cause. He gave that. Likewise, it comes, because when someone says, he did everything and all, he wanted to see something, let it be created. He doesn't want anything, but he wants wanted his bad name to be erased. Rockefeller also, he made a lot of money in stocks, and Carnegie made in the steel, everything. Finally, they brought a trust in the Carnegie Mellon University in Pittsburgh. Finally, he brought, people thought, he's exploiting the resources and finally making it, big. And finally, they thought, because there is something of a ordained duty for them, they have to do. It's not that, because after all, producing steel is still good. But then it is not the exploitation what they have done, or in that process it might have happened. They have to do some atonement. See, that is why when the atonement takes place, because then we don't realize some of the things, vicarious atonement may be taking place. We might have knowingly, unknowingly done something, because when something happens, people will try to attribute, it is because not that vicarious atonement, because even Ramakrishna Paramahamsa is such a great sage. Finally, he had a throat cancer at the end of it. Why it has happened and all? See, he took a lot of people in his ambit. And a lot of people, every type of people came who were following, the noble people also came, some crooks also came, some others also came. He wanted to give everyone to be elevated, in that process, he took them all into his hold. Finally, the vicarious atonement for their sins, but he gave the atonement. This is exactly, we might have heard, even the Babar, he gave up his life for his son Humayun, because he prayed in them. It all is a vicarious atonement that takes place. Why they are masters? Why? Because when they wanted to elevate everyone and they wanted to take everyone and all, and every person, what he is due, he should get in this world, and when he thought like that, because they are all, why Ramakrishna is being called Avatara is, he took others, because he didn't bother what type of a person is there. He wanted to elevate them, he wanted to take them out. He had a Vivekananda also, but he had so many other people also who were all greedy, misers, everyone was there. He got that. That's why, you might see, people will be saying he's such a great noble man. Why it happened to him? Why he got the cancer? We have all seen some acharyas also, they're suffering from the diseases. I've always used to quote, one great example which I have seen in Chhatrapur in New Delhi. The Katyayani Mandir is there. A very big mandir. It has been created by one person. He was a textile merchant from Karnataka. He had a small shop in somewhere, in Delhi. But he had the spiritual inclination, and finally he devoted the entire life in telling people. He was a small person. He was not a great, he is not a great knowledge of scriptures and all. He lived there. Slowly he was doing, the Katyayani Devi Upasana and all. He created a big mandir. If you go to Chhatrapur, because that Meruli area and go there, at least 100 buses, tourist buses will be there, because it has become such a famous place. During Navaratras, it is next. Those who couldn't go to Vaishnavi Devi, they go there and all. And Indira Gandhi, during one of our bad times, she has gone there and perhaps meditated. Those things have also added there and all. But finally, when I saw him, he was having tubes on his nostrils and he was having drips into his body, and he is immobilized. He is not able, he was crippled. And he is the one who was created. And every day people used to go and see him and get prasad and all, because I was also, I happened to know someone who took him to that Swamiji. He never wanted any sort of a sympathy from anyone and all. Look, because this has to happen to me. The prarabdha has to be exhausted by anyone. He couldn't move. Some two people were always helping him, always filling in the drips and the nostrils, through which, he was able to breathe. He was not able to, even the lungs were not so powerful. He was like that till his last minute. He was there, but he created such a good thing, because because he had a vicarious atonement only. He would have taken, so many people onto the fold. He was just paying out, and not only that, maybe his own prarabdha karma was there. He was exhausting. So we should not feel bad about prarabdha karma being exhausted in this world. That is, in that process, you are also able to accumulate. Sometimes, once you are getting into the adhyatma, and once you are getting into the elevation, and once you are getting into this process, some of the things, which worst things that has to happen may come in your dream and go off. It need not necessarily happen. There has been experiences to this. People have recorded that experiences. Whether you believe it or not, something, but it is actually people have experienced that. But I have seen this particular person with such a crippled, and how he has done so big a temple that because he has not kept a sort of air conditioned room for himself, 2 or 3 doctors attendant to him, sitting in a bed, nothing in it. He was in open space. He said, I have been like this right from the beginning. I do not want anything special. And people who could have afforded, because people who would have poured money into him, because he was revered so highly. It is like that vicarious atonement that takes place. They are taking it in the stride. So therefore, something happens immediately, we should not, why it is happening to me. That question should not come at all. It is happening to everyone else, it may happen to me also. I am not so exceptional. But then during that period, once I know, because there is something great I have to do, even during this period, whatever time left right now here, I will have to do that. Like I bring Viktor Frankl in every time and all, because that is the time we should use it as if, this is the time will not be available anymore. So that is once the urgency is there, you will be able to do that. And then Anyatra Bhutacha Bhavyacha. Anyatra Dharmat, Adharmat, Anyatra Asmat Krita Krita, cause and effect, which is beyond the cause and effect. The power, which has created you, it is beyond the cause and effect. He has created you, he has created this world, he has created every creature, every beings. He does everything and all, he is beyond that. So when Nachiketa asks, you tell me that one he is beyond this nobility, and one who is beyond all the crookedness and the cunningness, and one who is beyond the cause and effect. Anyatra Bhutacha Bhavyacha, which is beyond the past and beyond the future. Who is that? Bhavyacha Yattat Pashyasi Tadvada. What you have seen beyond all these things, please tell me that. That means the present time, now one here. Nowhere else. That is what, because that comes as an answer. It is an implicit answer, but this is the question to Yama. I'm asking you, tell me what is that, because which is beyond that. Because Nachiketa is eligible and he is already elevated. He is asking, you are not telling the answer for that, whether there is a soul after the death, and if the soul is there still, it is in the custody of the Paramatma, or still whether it gets the liberation, what happens, it goes to Swarga or it goes to the Naraka, or what is that? He has asked all those things. We have explained, it is all in Swarga, Naraka, and everything is in our experience. Once you have got into the stage of elevated stage, you will be able to say, and now you tell me what is that I should be knowing about that particular power, which is guiding all these things. One thing which is clear, there is a power, which is the power which is guiding you and all. It is something different. But whereas, there's some philosophies like Advaita say it is not the same power is with you, but you are veiled, you are clouded, you are not able to see that. The moment, you understand and you had a glimpse of that, you know that, you got in the jnana itself is good enough, for you to be elevated. Whereas other theistic philosophy like Visishtadvaita and Dvaita and Veda, Abheda, Achintya, Abheda, Abheda, there are Nimbarka, Chaitanya, and when all the others say no. It is a power. The creator cannot be a created also. That is what, because the Parimana, he himself can't know. It is something different, but you will have to know that. So this is where I will just give a small example of, just to differentiate it all. It is a sort of wide angle triangle. That's what I said, the Advaita. We are all at the Vaivarika stage. We can't sort of see anything at all. But once you elevate, once you are able to see, finally, because the divinity is in you, you are able to see the divinity. If that divinity is present in you, once you are able to get that knowledge, you are almost getting into the same quality like that primordial power. That is wide angle triangle. You are getting into that. The trapezium, is that Visishtadvaita, where it says, because you belong to him. You are a property belonging to him. Because you see, you may be having a house. House doesn't know it belongs to you. We are like that. He knows, and all in that it says not only sentience like us, even insentience. Even the jada also belongs to him. Everything is like that. It all belongs to Cheta, Chet. They say everything belongs to him. So once you know you belong to him and you will have to serve him, you are part of him. Then because you do whatever is kaikarya, what they say. Once you pravritti, once you do that, then totally devote yourself into that. You becomes like that. Whereas in the Dvaita says it's like a concentric circle. There is a center. The center of power is there. You are all going round and round and round. But till such time you understand there is a center, because which is guiding you, that he is the Swatantra. He is sort of independent, but we are all dependent on that. The center of gravity, that center is not there, we will all be out. But once you know that is there and all, you are different, but then you will have to circumference, in the same circumference, in the same gravity, you will have to be working on that. You will be in his control till such time, you realize and give up all your unfulfilled desires. And totally when you feel liberated, you are a seed, you have been given the power to flourish your potential in this world. The creation in Dvaita is, because you are a seed, because when everything pralaya takes place, the seeds are all in dormant stage. What God does it, because you will have to flourish your potential. Each seed has got its own potential. You may be an almond, you may be a coconut, or you may be something else, you may be even a people tree, give a big shade and all, but it all is in the form of a seed. Finally, he gives the seed, into this world, when the creation takes place, and gives an opportunity to flourish your potential. But whether you are able to flourish your potential with His grace, when you are able to flourish your potential, a coconut tree should not be bothering, what is happening to the other tree. It has to go by its own nature and own sort of innate energy in it and try to grow that. That means, you do that. That is what it says. And another thing it says, when there is some water is there, because if you have got excess water, you allow it to go to the other trees also. Dana jarasya shushushu karmaha. Anyone, who is need, you should fulfill the need. Maybe it is a sort of advice or it is a sort of action you do. That you should do. That is what it says. Visishtadvaita says, because you are all being created, you are given independence first to do. So based on that, whatever you are doing, you are accumulating your sort of karmas, papa or punya, then accordingly it gets into the cycle of birth and death. That it is. Whereas in Advaita says there is nothing like that. As long as you know that you are a divinity personified, you are being veiled by that knowledge, because veiled by that maya, which is preventing you from seeing the divinity in you. Once you know that divinity, then that knowledge itself is good enough, that will take you to the liberation. The liberation, all the other three things is finally to know that you are in the control or guidance of the great power. How do you know that the roots are different? That is only once you know that, what it happens is you will not be looking for the ephemeral things, temporary things, because you have got a great goal to achieve. You will not be wasting, you are into the marathon. You will not be wasting about the first 100 meters and the next 200 meters. So you will be trying to winning the race. That's what we will try to do then. So that is why the winning the race is winning over yourself. Whom are you going to conquer? Conquer yourself. So that you don't get agitated by any joy or happiness, because everything comes with a pair only, pain and pleasure. Because like the joy and happiness and sort of a depression, as well as the created and uncreated. You think I have made this, I will have something to do. Nothing, everything, all the pairs will go off. The Dvaita real meaning is not the pairs, it is something which you are not able to see the real quality of that object. Once you know the quality of the object, you will not be sort of interested in the effect of it. You know this much as it is only ephemeral, you are not going to give it. That is why it is called Tattvavada, because the real name for the Dvaita philosophy is Tattvavada, in the sense you are able to see the reality in that. Advaita says, because when it says the world is illusion, it doesn't say, it is sort of, everything, you forget, it is all illusion, you live like that. It is all temporary truth. They will all go off. Their existence is ephemeral. They will go off. But behind that, there is a substratum of everything is the greatest power, the potential power. He is there behind everything and all. Once you know that, that is the divinity you are realizing yourself. Because the same power which is behind everything is behind you also. So you are the divinity personified. Therefore, once you know that, you have got to be happy all the time, all the moment, every moment and all that. If you are failing to be happy, that is still you are having the Maya within you. So once the Maya veil is removed, you will be happiness personified, the divinity personified. Others also say, once you know the real nature of it, you will not be into the real thing, these ephemeral things. You will be working on to that to elevate yourself. Not only you will flourish your potential, you will allow others to flourish your potential. So what is that, the creation and all? They are all the atoms and subatoms. They are all there, because when a formation has to take place, the molecules will have to be formed. When the molecules formation that takes place, that is the creation, that process, and they are being maintained. So different molecules, it's a complex system. So many things happens, so many things in its own. Some of the molecules have got the existence for a longer duration. Some of them don't. So it goes off like that. The life is being described like that. When again, the dissolution takes place, everything gets into the atomic, subatomic level. They are all there. So this is how is exactly the Sanatana Dharma is being trying to project in terms of scientific thought. But for us, irrespective of the fact whatever is there, we are capable of attaining much more heights than what we are in the present. So therefore, focus on the present. Do everything to the excellent possible. Even if you are going to help someone, try to do what you can do at this moment within your capacity, within your sort of affordability, and within your strength and skill. What is that? You try to give the best of it. Don't take, because, by doing that, I'm not going to get anything, or by doing that, the other person is not going to help. Don't give up anything. Everywhere, wherever you have got, you have to give your excellence. The excellence is your duty to do. What comes to you will automatically be excellent. Don't bother about it. But if you are trying to do, should I do it and should I not do it, you give a subjective analysis to what you are going to do, you will not be able to excel in anything what you are going to do. So your life has to be an excellent living, happiness personified, and you are a divinity, and the potential divinity to be manifest in every action of yours. That is the joy, ineffable bliss. And still, he has not touched whether he has asked. Yama has not still given the answer. The next mantra onwards, next 2-3 mantras, he is going to give the answer. We will see what is that answer. Most of the answer we know, but we don't know really that means the answer. That's what we will see from next week onwards with this small sort of paradox, and we will close this today's session. And we will go for a meditation this week, a mantra, like the Suktam, which is to clean our mind and soul. The mind, soul, our and thought, everything will be cleaned. And this is one of the Vedic mantras to keep ourselves every time, to just remove all the cobwebs, to clean ourselves. As you are cleaning the house to the perfection, to cleaning the mind and soul, we will be having this particular suktam, and we hope we will be able to get the best of it. Now I will close this particular talk, and we will go for the meditation immediately after this. Sahana vavatu, sahanau punaktu, sahaviryam karavavahai, tejasvinavadidamastu ma vishvidavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.